Hey guys, welcome back to Higurashi. Okay. It was a very humid day, not even a slight breeze was blowing. It had been an unpleasant summer one that wasn't only hot but sweltering, so there were various articles of clothing hung out to dry in the messy of apartment windows, but the lack of wind evoked an impression far removed from coolness and effectively felt more oppressive. There were crooked houses and apartments lining that narrow, twisting road. In addition, there were planters and flower pots whose contents were beginning to rot, as well as bicycles and cars on the sides of the road, making it even more cramped and more oppressive and all the more sweltering. Nobody who was in this place at this time was visiting it voluntarily, but in spite of what everyone might expect, a single motorcycle came rolling in. The motorcycle stopped in front of a two-story apartment, one that could hardly be called neat, even as flattery. A man fairly old and wrinkled stepped off. When a nearby housewife hanging out the laundry noticed him, and she called out, "Well, hello there. It's quite hot today again, isn't it? Oh, you got that right. And I feel like I'm going to boil out here." Suddenly, I got goosebumps all over my body. I felt like something bad was about to happen for no reason. Everyone gets this feeling in a different way, but some people get a twitch in their eyelids or some kind of movement in their ears. In my case, I get goosebumps. Satoko was supposed to be cooking dinner tonight. We didn't have much inside the refrigerator, so I asked her to go grocery shopping. I was just watching TV and relaxing while I waited for her. She was usually back by the time my cartoon was over, after which she started cooking dinner. But my cartoon was over, and the news had started, and Satoko wasn't home yet. Satoko sometimes waited until they had a sale at the store. In that case, she'd usually come home late. That must be what was happening. It was too early for me to start worrying about her. But I can't explain this feeling. I can't explain it, but I feel extremely worried. Once I started feeling like that, I couldn't just sit in the room and wait for her. Hanyu? Hanyu, where are you? I thought she might know where Satoko might be, but she's never around when I need her. Hanyu's not with me 24 hours a day. She sometimes falls asleep and sometimes she goes out for walks. Though in her case, it's not a walk but more like a stalk, as she follows people around when she finds someone interesting and she enjoys observing them. Anyway, I had no choice. I had to find Satoko on my own. I had a good idea which stores Satoko goes to. I should check those first. Warren Hinamisawa. If I ask people, they tell me where she went. Hello there, we got Chama. It's a blessing to see you there. Here, Nipa. Did Satoko come by here today by any chance? I haven't seen Satoko-chan around here. I've been out here all day, so I would have seen her if she was here. And even at the time to say thanks. I went to the next door. People were greeting me and waving at me. I usually smile and greet them back, but I had no time for that at the moment. Satoko, Satoko, Satoko. I need Satoko in my life. I was able to survive for so long because of her support. Without her, this world would be so empty and boring. Satoko is nonchalant and optimistic, unlike me. I learned so much things from her over the past 100 years, but I still need to learn more from her. Satoko, Satoko. People stared at me as I ran by them, screaming out her name. I didn't care what they thought, though. Satoko, Satoko, Satoko. Why are they looking at me like that? I'm looking for Satoko, so somebody tell me where she is. Ha ha ha. My heart was convulsing inside my body like a fish out of water. What low stamina I have. I hate my body for being so young. You know, the store in the corner always has a sale in the evening. She might be there. I went to a few different places, but I still couldn't find her anywhere. The people I talked to gave me advice on where to go, but I couldn't find her in any of the places they suggested. I continued to run looking for her. I continued, hey look, an extra E. I continued to run even though I bumped into people. I don't know, I had so many customers I can't remember. There are only a few places in Hinamizawa where we can go grocery shopping. It should be that difficult to find her, so why couldn't I? Well, I tripped on something in the street and fell flat on the ground. Ouch. I injured my hand on a small rock embedded in the ground. I didn't feel much pain even though I said ouch. It just felt hot as if I touched a frying pan. Suddenly someone handed me a pretty handkerchief. Are you okay? Did you get hurt? Rena, did you see Satoko anywhere? Rena was carrying a grocery bag. I've heard that Satoko bumps into Rena often when she goes grocery shopping. They tend to choose the same stores. Satoko-chan? No, I didn't see her today. Was she out grocery shopping? Yes. You didn't see her? No, I didn't, but there's no way she would have missed the big sale at the market today. I was there, but I didn't see her. My brain wasn't getting enough oxygen. It took me a while to understand what Rena was talking about. I understood that Rena didn't see Satoko, but that wasn't the point. They had a huge sale in the market today. There's no way that Satoko missed that sale, but she still didn't see her there. What was that supposed to mean? What happened? Did she leave her wallet at home or something? Well, I couldn't find the right words to explain. Should I tell her I feared that something bad happened to Satoko, and that's why I was looking for her? No, I couldn't do that. I couldn't think too deeply about why she hadn't returned home. What's wrong? Can't I help out? Talk to me. I knew she was just trying to help me. I even thought I needed someone to help me just a few moments before, but now that she was here, I had no idea what I was supposed to say. No, that's not it. The truth is, I know somehow. I know. I wouldn't have to know if it was someone else, but I know I have to know this. Rika Friday has to know what's going on. I know it. I remember it. I knew this was coming. I've experienced a world before where Satoko suddenly disappeared, but the possibility for that happening is as low as Akasaka showing up in Hinamizawa. It only happened randomly in other lives. This is not the first time. It happened before, too. I should see it for myself. I need to see if I got stuck inside a devastating world again. Will you talk to me? I'm sorry. Goodbye. Hey, Rika-chan. Started running. I couldn't pretend like I didn't know where she was. Please, don't tell me that I was blessed only to fall up to this point, that I'm about to fall back into my unfortunate fate from here on. I thought this world was different. I thought I could move on to a happy future. I thought I would be able to defeat my deadly fate in this life. But this was just horrible. It was horrible that this was happening to this world. I was standing in front of the place that I hate the most in Hinamizawa. Yes, it's Satoko's real home, the Hojo residence. I've been living with her since last fall, so this house was empty. In the beginning, she used to come back here to pick up her clothing and other necessities, but once she moved most of her stuff to my place, Satoko stayed away from this place. This was a sad place for Satoko because all she could remember of it was the horrible time she spent with her uncle and aunt, and the memory of her missing brother Satoshi. That's why she never wanted to come back here, but that wasn't the reason I hate the house. It's because I know what happens whenever this house becomes an issue in my life. Oh God, please, please bless me with just one more fortune. I closed my eyes and prayed, and I slowly opened them. This window was open on the second floor. I saw a faded curtain swinging outside. As soon as I saw that, my knees realized what was going on, even before my mind processed it. In the next moment, I lost strength in my legs and collapsed on the ground. I saw an unfamiliar motorcycle parked by the house. I also saw laundry and a futon hanging outside. I was certain that someone was living here. It was proof that someone was living inside this house. It's never good when there's someone living inside this house. This was very, very bad. I knew exactly why. I knew why, but I felt like I wanted to act like I didn't know. Rika? Satoko. Satoko went outside to take the futon and noticed me. Rika. Satoko looked down and forced herself to smile. I felt so sad. It wasn't just her expression. I could tell that her left cheek was red and swollen. Satoko, don't stay here. Let's go home. I took her hand, but she still looked down without squeezing back. Rika, I think I'm going to go back to this house. Why is that? My uncle came back, and he told me we should live together in this house. I know that's not what you want. You don't want to live with your mean uncle. But I had no choice. If I go back to your house, he'll come and get me. I don't want to cause any trouble for you. She gave up with a sad smile. She looks exactly how she looked 1 year ago in 1982. Her uncle only slapped her face, and she's back to being the Satoko from 1982. The cheerful Satoko that I knew until yesterday could no longer be found. I took care of Satoko and tried to heal her wounded heart from over a year. She finally got her smile back, but her uncle took it all away with just one slap to her face. A broken soul can recover over time, but her damaged heart can never be fixed completely. I just took over the broken pieces and put them back together. The cracks in her heart will always be there. That's why she wouldn't come with me no matter how hard I tried to pull her hand. I couldn't get over the fear. She knew just how scary her uncle could be. Satoko, what the hell are you doing? You better not go anywhere. I heard a disgusting voice from inside the house. Satoko stared at the ground. Her shoulders were shaking. Huh? Who the hell is this? He came out and stood right behind her. It's nothing. I just bumped into my friend. I don't care. Go inside and clean the bathtub. I want to take a bath, you idiot. Satoko scampered back inside the house like a terrified small animal. I felt devastated as I watched her go. Were you asking her out to play? I'm sorry, but she's busy taking care of chores. I'm her uncle. I've been out for a while on a business trip. I'm finally back in the village, you know. Liar. He only showed up back because his lover went missing. In another world, I once let my hatred out on him, but then he inflicted that anger in equal turn onto Satoko, so I couldn't allow the dark flame burning within my chest to reflect in my eyes. Since I couldn't make myself smile and I couldn't insult him, all I could do was give him a short bow and run away from the scene. You're intimidated by my scary face, huh? I heard a hideous laughter from behind me. I cried as I ran away. I couldn't stop crying. I thought this was a perfect world up until today. Why was God doing this to me? It was too cruel, but I couldn't give up yet. I couldn't do anything, but I still had hope for this world. I didn't think the luck I had until yesterday was just a random thing. I went back to my house in a hurry. I needed to make a phone call. I didn't know the number because it was my first time calling the place. I looked inside the phone book and found it easily. I made a call to that number. Oh, hello, they didn't expect to get a call from you for a day, son. What can I do for you? I already knew that Oishi could never save Satoko based on what I've seen in my previous lives. For him, Satoko's only a good way to get at the Sanosaki family. Her uncle is probably his prey in that regard too. Even if I talked to him about her situation, he would do nothing to save her. The only thing he would tell me would be call the Child Consolation Center. I want to talk with Akasaka. Is he there? Akasaka-san, he went to the hot springs in Wakura with his wife. Wakura? That's not anywhere near here. I thought he was staying here until Higurashi. I heard he's going to stay in a hotel owned by a relative of his. I wish I could go too. What? You want to know where Wakura is? It's in the Ishikawa prefecture on the Nodo Peninsula. No way. He told me that he was staying here until Watanagashi. I thought he meant he was staying in Hinozawa. But did he actually mean this area of the country in general? Can you get hold of him somehow? That was a meaningless question. There's no way I could get him to come here while he's enjoying his trip with his wife. Even if I can talk to him on the phone, he'll probably only tell me to call the Consolation Center or something. I don't know where he's staying. I heard it's a very famous luxury hotel, so I can make a pretty good guess. But I'm sure they won't give me the room number since they're strict about customer privacy these days. Okay then, did Akasaka tell you he's coming to the Tanagashi Festival? Yes, he did. He's coming back here after the hot springs. They stayed here for only one night and then left for the Noto Peninsula. I'm sure they'll be back before the day of the festival. He said he'd be back with a souvenir for you. How terrible. I thought it was too good to be true. I knew it was kind of strange for him to stay in a boring place like this. My leg seems to be turning. This might not be a surprise, though. Just like I can roll a 6 3 times in a row, I can roll a 1 3 times in a row, too. Happy things and happy things can happen with equal probability. Hello? If you want to leave a message, I'll take it for you. I looked at the calendar on the wall. I didn't know when he was coming back, but I was certain he wouldn't be for at least one more week. I thought back to the past and tried to remember what happened. The guy who works at Toko apart in 1 week. I couldn't wait that long. I had to give up on seeking help from Akasaka. Well, that's okay. I still have one more option, one more person I could rely on. No, that's alright. Thanks for your help. Oops. I skipped that part. No, that's alright. Thank you for your big help. But I hung up on the phone after thanking him. Okay. I couldn't make a phone call to the next person. I'd have to talk to them in person. I put my shoes on and headed to the Irie clinic. Oh. Alright guys, I'm gonna take a few minute break here. My mouth is kind of dry and blah blah blah. Alright, I'm back from my break. The clinic's hours were over for the day, and there was usually no one here after that. However, since Tomatake was here, they should still be inside the building for a meeting. They had to be there. The front door of the clinic was locked as I expected. When we're on the back door, I rang the bell. The whole clinic is nervous when Tomatake is around. They usually ignore visitors, but I'm special. What's wrong? I heard you had an emergency. You need me too, that doesn't sound good. Ari Takano showed up as soon as I was taken to the visitor's room. If Rika Fude has an emergency, then it's a priority for these two people. I'm the most important person in this village. Could it be someone is trying to get you? You are protected at all times by the elite security of the mountain dogs. You've been watching you since the day we made that promise. I had no idea about. I had no doubt about that. They saved me right away when we had the confrontation with those three delinquents the other day. I still don't have a favor to ask. I want you to save Satoko from danger. What happened to Satoko-chan? Ari doesn't have much power alone, even if he really wants to save her, but Takano controls the mountain dog, so she does have that power. In my previous lives, I was never able to get help from the mountain dogs because I wasn't on good terms with Takano. But this world is different. I have a better relationship with her in this life, and she kept the promises she made. I trust her ability completely now. Teppei Hojo-san is back. That's horrible. It was mainly Satoko's end who was abusing her last year, but I already knows that her uncle was violent with her too. I told him that Satoko had gone back to the same condition she was in the previous year. I don't know what will happen. I need you to help me save Satoko. I already seemed to want to do something for her, but he didn't know exactly what to do. What shall we do? What, should we call the police and let them know? I don't know about that. At this point, all he did was come back and take her as her legal guardian, right? It's not like she was seriously injured by him. That's not the case, right? No. That hasn't happened yet, but it's only a matter of time. Something bad's going to happen if we don't do anything. I hate to say it, it's only a matter of time. I knew how she was going to get abused and how she was going to end up. I've seen it in the past. I really wanted to tell them about it, but I couldn't do that. As if it hadn't happened in this world yet, they just think I was imagining it. I think you should call the Child Constellation Center first. I remember Satoko-chan made a false report to the Child Constellation Center once. I wonder if they would take her seriously. The answer is no. My friends contacted the Child Constellation Center several times in the past, but Satoko always refuses their help. She claims that she is being abused. The Satoko from 1983 might have asked for the help, but currently she was the Satoko from 1982. For her, live with her uncle reminds her of the time when Satoshi was around. She feels like Satoshi will come back if she can live strongly without always relying on her brother. Even if the Child Constellation Center were to take the case seriously, it's just too late. I tried to remember in the most recent world I experienced, it only took a few days after Satoko was kidnapped by her uncle. It only took a few days for him to tear her heart apart. Whew. We had no time to waste. We need to take action quickly. We can't really do things unless she seeks help. I think Dr. Ari can call the police, but that's about it. I'm very sorry. That's not it. I want you to help her, Takano. Ari and Takano looked shocked and both went quiet. They didn't expect me to seek help from Takano. You mean you want us to take a much bolder action? I'm here to ask for that. I won't be here this late otherwise. I understand, but Ari, if you truly cherish Satoko, then please just listen to me this once. Please save Satoko. In less than a few days, she'll really end up in horrible shape. That's already guaranteed. If you try to wait and see how things go, it'll be no different than watching her die. Have you forgotten how Satoko was last year, Ari? She's already reverted to that state right this very second. In a few more days, it'll be too late to do anything. All I could do was stare at him, believing that Ari could see the future. Only I knew the tragic end that waiting Satoko reflected in my eyes. I remained silent for too long for a time to call brief. Someone trying to think of some excuse to avoid the issue wouldn't go silent that long. He was recalling Satoko's terrible state last year and seriously considering if my plea was as urgent as I made it out to be. I know that he really cares about her. That's why I need this help. What shall we do? Ari nodded and looked up. I guess he finally came to a conclusion. I just hope it's a positive one. Takano-san, please do what Rika-chan wants you to do. Ari, I remember how hopeless I felt when I couldn't do anything to save Satoko-chan last year. I want to take this chance and save her this time. But Dr. Takano didn't think that Ari would make that decision. She seemed shocked to hear his response. I would like to ask you as the director of this clinic, please help Satoko-chan. Dr. Ari, what do you mean when you say to help her? Please calm down. Satoko-chan was very important to us. She has greatly contributed to our research for a long time. Protecting her is considered one of your work orders. Ari continued, though. Takano tried to persuade him. Kyosuke, Ari is asking you as your boss. Please save Satoko-chan. I stared into Takano's eyes together with him. I thought you and Satoko were friends. Please help her as a friend. Help her, huh? That's a hypocritical way of saying it. You're not telling me to kidnap her and lock her up somewhere safe. You want me to help her so she can have a normal, happy life. In other words, you want her uncle dead, right? You have the right to make the ultimate decision of how you're going to save her, but if you don't want to, I don't mind making that decision. Dr. Ari, no, Section Chief. If we carry out your order, both you and I will be responsible for it. Are you sure you're ready for that? I looked at his face. Unlike me, Ari has many things to lose. I knew that Takano's words would shake him emotionally. However, Ari was determined. Yes, that's fine. Even if I'm called forward to defend my actions, that's better than betraying my own heart. An impressive show from someone who doesn't know what a hearing's like. If you do it quietly, they might not find out about it in Tokyo. Everyone would be happy that way. I'll risk no reward. If you want, I'll show you more treasures in the shrine. I'll never restrict you from seeing those things. So please help me. The risk she's taking is larger than the reward I'm offering. But that's about the only thing I can offer her. I don't care about the traditions of the Fude Shrine as long as I can save my friend from her suffering. Fine, I don't want to be the bad guy here. She forced a small and accepted the favor I asked her for. Thank you, Takano-san. I want you to make the decision of how to save her. I will have a meeting with Okanogi later to plan out the mission. Not later, it has to be now. She promised to save Satoko, but she still wasn't motivated for it. It'd be too late if she didn't do something right now. I tried to make Takano understand that this is an urgent matter. That's right, Rika-chan, I want to see some kind of result right now. I'm sorry for asking you this at this time, but can you please contact them now? You guys are so passionate about her. Okay, it might take a few minutes. Thank you very much. No problem. It's an order from my boss. I'll do whatever I can. Just don't forget the promise you made, Rika-chan. I promise. I'll even serve you some rice cakes and tea when you come to the shrine. Takano smiled slightly and left the room. Once we finally heard her footsteps fade away, the tension in the room dissolved. Ari offered me something to drink, but I refused. He must have thought everything was taken care of, but I couldn't relax until Satoko was physically returned to me. Ari, does she have enough medication with her? Her uncle will keep her locked inside the house, so she won't be able to come here for a while. Fortunately, I gave her a stock of medicine and needles last week. She should be fine for a while. However, her mental state can't be controlled by the medication. If she gets too stressed, that can really cause some damage. That will happen within a few days. Takano hadn't come back yet. I thought it would be bad news if she came back too early, but I started feeling nervous after she'd taken so long. I already insisted that I go home because it was getting very late. I couldn't go home and relax, however, until I heard from her that everything was taken care of. I had to wait for her to come back, and I needed to deal with this tension until then. Over an hour later, Takano finally returned. I'm sorry it took so long. How did it go? She was looking for the right words. I got a very bad feeling from her reaction alone. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite as easy as we hoped anymore. Why is that? There was a murder case in Nokonomiya not too long ago. The police suspect Teppei Hojo of involvement in the crime, and they have it marked. A murder case? What do you mean? Some woman named Mamiya laid her hands on the Sonozaki family's earnings and was murdered to set an example. Apparently, the police have taken an interest in the relationship between the Hojos and Sonozakis. Turns out that woman was Teppei Hojo's lover. What Tanagashi is getting closer to, the police want to prevent the fifth curse of Oyashio-sama this year, so they marked Teppei Hojo as a candidate for this year's victim and started casting their lines. What do you mean by lines? They suspect they can reveal the true culprit behind Oyashio-sama's curse if they keep their eyes on Teppei Hojo. So you mean... Rika-chan, I'm very sorry, but the mountain dogs can't do anything to him until the police stop spying on him. No, I thought that mountain dogs could perform any mission no matter how difficult. That's only when we had to plan out carefully with extensive preparation. Usually we take a long time to observe the target and we look for the right opportunity. It could take between 6 months and 1 year for a mission like this. Remember, we are a secret organization. We must remain out of the spotlight. If our secret is revealed, everything is over. It's too risky for us to target someone like him. Then when the right opportunity is coming, it will be after Tanagashi at the earliest. After the festival, the police will stop watching him. But that would be too late. She's saying to be after Tanagashi. I didn't even know if it was a day after or a year after. She also said it usually takes at least 6 months to prepare this kind of mission. That's too long. I thought this world was different, that hope was slipping through my fingers. So how can we save Satoko-chan? I think it's best to follow the rules. We should report this to the police or the Child Constellation Center. We can even talk to the school. I did that so many times, but it never worked. Okay, guys, I'm gonna take another few minute breaks here. I'm getting out of breath again. Oh, okay, I'm back again. Eri and Takano were surprised. They had never expected me to raise my voice. In fact, I didn't think myself that I would react this way. But I couldn't keep my emotions in check after Takano suggested all those meaningless solutions. I've cooperated with you guys all this time. I never asked for anything. I just gave you my support. But now you can't save Satoko with all that power you have. Why are you so afraid of saving her? The police and public services are useless. You guys are the only one. You guys only take advantage of us and never actually help. Fine, I get it now. I know that this world is nothing but a dead end. I'm not interested in you guys anymore. I don't care about this world anymore. That's right, I can never escape my fate. It's the same old fate that I keep on repeating. You guys just burn to death in the mountains. You could just take sleeping pills and commit suicide. I'll die just like I always do, too. I'll lose my life without knowing how I'm killed. This life is nothing but a dead end. I was born to be killed in this world. Die, everyone die. There's no meaning to this world anymore. Wow. I can't put words to my emotions anymore how I started to cry. I was so lucky up until yesterday. I had so much hope in my heart, but it had all been for nothing. I felt like everything was falling apart. I had lived for more than 100 years. I lived longer than normal human lifetime. I thought I was blessed with good fortune for the first time in my life. This would never happen to me again. I thought a miracle had occurred, but everything was shattered. I cried and cursed this world. I need to give up on my life as soon as possible. Satoko will be waiting for me at the cinema on my next one. I wanted to go see her, but what would happen to Satoko in this world? What would happen if I abandoned her? I didn't know, and I didn't care. Satoko. I'm a witch who has lived for 100 years, but I still couldn't rid myself of the human emotions in my heart. I didn't get anything to eat because Satoko was supposed to be making dinner tonight. But I didn't have any appetite anyway, so I figured I should just go to bed. I still had to make lunch for the next day, though. Satoko might come to school tomorrow. I rinsed the rice, hoping that I wouldn't have to waste the lunch that I was making for the two of us. I had to stop thinking like that. I already knew it was a waste to make her lunch. I already knew that Satoko wasn't coming to school ever again. I felt so miserable while rinsing the rice that tears started dropping into it as I thought about her. Why was this happening in this world? I thought everything was changed when Kichi gave that doll to Mion. In that world, Mion pretended to be her sister for a week and got closer to Kichi. But that wasn't happening this time. I thought we would be having a good time until the festival. Huh? That's odd. Was it that club activity 2 weeks before with Higurashi? I realized something. The club activity was exactly the same, but it happened 1 week earlier than in the world I knew of. It was 1 week earlier than in my previous life. I get it now. I thought I was familiar with this world, but it was actually a different one where events are mixed up. That means even though that Kichi gave the doll to Mion, that didn't solve everything. I thought I was getting lucky. I was confident that everything was going to be okay. I stopped making an effort. I knew there was a possibility that Satoko's uncle was coming back, but I let her go do the grocery shop, and I would have been more careful and kept her home if I knew that he was coming back to get her. I should be careful in my next life, but there wouldn't be a next life that was so fortunate I didn't get that lucky that often. Even if Satoko locked it inside the closet, it would be over if Rena's father messed up something or if Geach lost his mind. I have to clear everything up, blah blah blah, yeah. I have to clear up everything that's not within my reach, and I also have to make the best effort I can. Without that, I can't overcome the fate of 1983. In this life, I may be able to overcome my deadly fate with Takano's help, but Satoko will not be there in my future. That defeats the whole purpose. My goal is to survive this year while laughing with my best friends. I don't want to sacrifice Satoko in order to survive. I don't want to live in a world without her. I was blessed with all the fortunes, but I still couldn't defeat my destiny. I ruined everything because I stopped working so hard. I will never again have a lucky life like this. I lost my first and only chance. I cried and scratched at the floor. I didn't know if I should curse my fate or curse myself for not putting forth enough effort. Before I realized that Henny was standing in front of me, I didn't know how long she had been there. She just stared down at me with a look of pity on her face. I know what you're trying to say. You want to tell me that you told me not to get my hopes up. There's no way I would get my hopes up without it being the first time I was blessed with so many fortunate circumstances. I'll believe that everything will go well, but you were always telling me not to expect too much. She probably felt a bit strange at the Toy Store that day. She realized that the date was 1 week off, and this was not the same old world that I knew. She realized that early on, and I still shouldn't be too excited about this life. I've been waiting with you for a long time, so let me tell you this first before you ask me. I couldn't predict what fate held for us today either. The only advice I can give you is this: fate in this world is as fickle as the weather, nothing more than a trifle unworthy of joy or sorrow. There are 6 sides on a die. That's the reality of it, and it doesn't mean that the 6 is the best number either. I should just take any number that I roll. I shouldn't be disappointed if I roll a 1 a few times in a row. It's pathetic how I thought rolling a 6 was the best result you can obtain. I have many things to learn, even though I've been living for more than 100 years. I told you several times, but this world is not a miracle. If you wait patiently, you will come across a real miracle someday. How many decades am I supposed to wait patiently? How many centuries do I have to wait? We don't have much power left anymore. I don't think we can go back a time before June of 1983. The amount of time we can rewind keeps decreasing. You're telling me just to repeat that short amount of time for years? I almost lost my mind when I was repeating a few years over and over again. But you're telling me to repeat 1 or 2 weeks for years until a miracle happens? That's impossible. I was betting on this world. I bet all my coins on this one world, and I lost. I lost all my coins to this fate. I have no more coins left in my heart. And these coins are known as hope. I have no coins left to hope for my dreams to come true. Rika, I lay on the floor as if I collapsed. The floor should have been cold, but I didn't feel anything. I lost all of my hope. I always thought people could survive as long as they had some bread and water. But that's not right. People can't live without hope. People can survive because they believe that something good will eventually happen to them as long as they keep on living. But that's just for normal people who don't know what awaits them in their future. There's no such hope for a witch like me. I don't care about anything anymore. I don't care about this life, and I don't care about the next. I just wanted to disappear and turn to ash. Rika, please don't say that. Rika. Henry's voice gradually fades away. I slowly lost my senses as I lay down on the kitchen floor and let myself sink into darkness. Interesting. Okay. I dragged my body to school, hoping that Satoko might be there. But just as I expected, there's no one sitting in her seat. I felt all the more devastated just seeing it empty. I had nothing left to bet on. All I could do was get hurt and suffer devastation. Blood flowed through my broken heart and found its way through my eyes in the form of tears. Is something wrong for Day-san? Is Hojo-san absent today? The whole class was wondering why I came in late today and why Satoko wasn't with me. But even if I felt sympathy from anyone's eyes on me, I didn't feel any promise from them. No one here is able to save Satoko. No one could save her. Why should I have to keep smiling at all these useless people? This world is finished anyway. If I leave matters alone, then a few days after the Watanagashi festival, my movie reel will be cut as I'm murdered like usual, and I'll return to the beginning of this month again. And so I'll continue to live forever, not June 1983. Trapped here, even death won't set me free from that prison. For Day-san, please talk to me if something happened. Where's Hojo-san? Is she sick? Shut up. The whole class gasped. No one expected Rika Furude to talk like that. I myself made such blatant statements a few times in several past worlds, but it was always the first time anyone in that world heard anything like that. That must have been very easy for them, and I envied it. But Furude-san, she was standing there dumbfounded. I stood up from my seat. If Satoko wasn't around, I didn't want to be locked up inside this human place. I'm going home. I'm not coming here anymore. Goodbye. I felt like saying something like that. However, I retained a small hope that Satoko might go to school the next day, so I kept it to myself. However, she wouldn't let me go. She grabbed me by the arm and dragged me to the teacher's office instead. She told me to take a seat on the couch by the principal's office. She had no right to tell me what to do. I could just escape through the open window. As I didn't have that kind of energy, however, I sat on the couch as she told me to. I realized that I didn't even have the energy to be rebellious. Maybe Satoko felt the same. She lost the energy to rebel, and she was so simply obeying her uncle. Furude-san, please tell me what's going on. I'm sure I can help you. She spoke to me, but I knew that her words were empty. All she could do was call the Child's Consolation Center. She wouldn't go to the Hojo residence and pull Satoko out of there. So there's no point in even discussing the topic with her. If I told her, she wouldn't keep it to herself, and shortly everyone would know about what was happening with Satoko. That would only result in chaos. If they called the Child Consolation Center, the staff member would go visit Satoko. Her uncle will deny the abuse, and Satoko will also deny it because of the guilt she feels over Satoshi leaving. Shortly after, they'll find out about the false reports Satoko made before, and they'll decide not to proceed any further. Her uncle will allow Satoko to go to school for a few days, but his abuse will get worse because he'll think she's the one who called the Child Consolation Center. He'll do horrible things to her, just like her aunt did last year. Calling the Child Consolation Center won't help Satoko. It will instead put her in an even worse situation. It's better not to notify them at all. But if we don't report it, then how else is this world supposed to improve? No, nothing's going to change. There's nothing that can be done once this unfortunate fate overtakes Satoko. You say Hojo-san's uncle is back. Is that true? I had somehow answered all of G's questions without noticing. I knew that nothing would change whether I spoke to her or not, so I just told her everything because I had no energy to rebel. I understand what's going on now. This is horrible. So, now that you know what's going on, what can you do? She answered right away without faltering, already used to my spiteful tone. I will visit her house today. I need to see Satoko-chan and talk to her first. Then if there's a problem, you're going to call the Child Consolation Center, right? They have it on record showing that she made false reports in the past. They'll never do anything unless there's proof of abuse. They're just like the police who don't start investigations until after someone's dead. They won't do anything unless Satoko is killed. When that happens, this is what both the school and the Child Consolation Center will say. We never saw this coming. She was such a bright girl. You people are idiots. I believe that the people from the center will do something about it. I will make sure to tell them that she needs help. You've done the same in previous lives too. I wasn't denying her passion, but I couldn't say that there was meaning to it. The problem wasn't with Chi, the problem was with them. No matter how hard Chi tried to seek help from child services, it meant nothing as long as they held biased notions about Satoko. It doesn't matter if they find proof of abuse or not. I suddenly heard a voice from the hallway. It was Sean's voice. Chi shouted, "Who is there?" and I heard Myeon gasping crap. They must have been listening to our conversation. They were having a quiet discussion outside the door, but Sean accidentally raised her voice. She gets so violent sometimes. Before people enter the room from the hallway, Myeon, Sean, Kichi, and Reina. I told you to stay in class. Go back to the classroom. We cannot. Not in this situation. What are you going to do if something happens to Satoko? Do you want to be responsible for that? There's no time to waste. We have to do something right now. My sister's saying that things will get worse unless there's some kind of proof of abuse. But it'll be too late once there is. Do you want to see Satoko dead, Myeon? That's not what I'm trying to say. Like I told you, Satoko once made a false report to the abuse hotline, and they had that record at the Child Consolation Center. Without proof, they won't investigate her case any further. Just think about what that means. It only makes her uncle more furious. Satoko's situation will get even worse. What the hell? They're supposed to help her before something happens, right? Are they really not going to do anything unless she's seriously injured? Calm down, you two. I feel the same as Shi-chan and Kichika, and I don't want to wait until something bad happens. But we need to think about what we can do. What can we do? Talk to the Child Consolation Center, right? If we had the guarantee they'd help her, it'd be alright. But me on here saying is highly likely they'll be put her case on hold, right? Yeah, unfortunately that's what I think they'll do, just like last year. On top of that, she was in an even worse situation then. They put her case on hold even though Satoko was already in horrible shape. But this time it's only been a day since her uncle took her away. Plus her uncle has legal custody of her. We don't need to be so roundabout. All we have to do is ambush that bastard and kill him. Shi-chan, you can't do that. Satoshi-kun wouldn't want that. Then how should we save Satoko? Satoshi-kun entrusted me. He trusted me to look after Satoko. Anything happens to Satoko, I could never face him again. Having her hands tied until after Satoko's been thoroughly abused isn't an option. When a crime is taking place right before your eyes, is reporting it the first thing you do? No, it isn't. You stop it. We have to stop this ourselves. Calm down, Shion. You're the head of the Sonozaki family, aren't you? Use your power to save Satoko. You can do it, can't you? You have power to save her. I know that Hag's policy is to stay completely out of the Hojo affairs because of her grudge over the damn conflict, right? No matter what happens to Satoko, that Sonozaki main president tends to ignore it, don't they? If neither child Constellation Center nor the Sonozaki family can save her, I have to do it on my own. I'm going to do it. I'm going to kill that pig. I'm going to do it right now. It's not going to take more than 1,500 seconds for me to get to her house and stab him to death. What can you do in 1,500 seconds? You can't do anything, can you? I'm going to do it. I'm going to help her. Let me go. I'm going to kill him right now. Ah. Shion-san, settle down. Stop saying that or you're going to get in big trouble. They were desperately discussing how to save her. I just sat on the couch and stared at them vaguely. I had seen the same discussion many times in many different situations. I was tired of listening to it. The only difference was that everything was happening a few days earlier than usual. Rika, it's okay. I'm not going to expect anything good anymore. I don't have any hope left in my heart. And you made a sad expression. I couldn't tell if she was sad about our fate or if she was taking pity on me. Just as she promised, she went to Satoko's house after school. It had only been a day since Satoko's uncle took her away. She won't be able to tell if she heard her already or not. If the students had made such a big fuss about it, she would have waited a couple of days before going to her house. She already knew, however, what happened to Satoko the previous year. She also knew that her uncle was abusing her just like her aunt, and that she had neglected to act as her guardian for the whole year. Considering those factors, it might not have been too soon for her to visit the Hojo residence. Satoko hadn't shown up to school that day. No one called to school to explain her absence. That alone was proof that her uncle was taking responsibility as her guardian. She was going to her house to see what was going on with her own eyes. She parked her car in the street and checked a map she brought from the school. It said Hojo residence on the sign in front of the house. She was certain that this had to be the place. The window on the second floor was open and she could see a curtain hanging there. From that window she could hear the laughing voices of several old men. No one had answered the phone when she called right before leaving the school. She could also hear the clinky noise of mahjong tiles along with the voices. She had never played mahjong before, but she had a pretty good idea that was from the way the men were talking. If they were playing mahjong, there must have been 3 other men inside the house. Her students had told her that Satoko's uncle was a very violent man. She was a teacher, true, but she was also just a young lady. She felt hesitant to ring the doorbell after hearing their disgusting laughter. But the courage drove her forward. She made her decision and rang the doorbell. She heard the bell ring inside the house, but the laughing voices continued to echo from the second floor. It seemed as though they didn't hear the bell. She rang the bell again. This time the laughter stopped for a moment. She must have heard the sound. Someone must have heard the sound, but soon after they started laughing again, and it sounded like anyone was coming to get to the door. She thought someone heard the bell, but perhaps not. She was sure they were home, of course. She couldn't leave just because no one was answering the door. She knocked and yelled loudly at the same time. Hello, are you home, Hojo-san? Finally the laughter stopped and the man with the scary look on his face opened the door. Who the fuck are you? Shut up and get the hell out of here. She felt intimidated by him, but her heart was full of the teacher's pride and responsibility. Hello, are you Hojo-san? I am. Before she could introduce herself, Teppei screamed at her. Just shut up. I don't need no newspaper, no milk, no insurance. I'm busy right now. I'm working. The people in the room laughed when he told her he was working. She wouldn't give up. She continued to speak. I'm the teacher at Hinamizawa Parent School. My name is Chi. Is Satoko Hojo-san here? Huh? What the hell do you want with Satoko? I came here because she didn't come to school today. I wasn't able to get a hold of her, so I'm wondering what happened. Huh? School? Yes, is she home? I need to talk with her. She's sick, that's right. She has a cold. Satoko is resting because she has a fever. I need to give her some handouts, man. Please see her. Fucking idiot. Weren't you listening to what I just said? Satoko is sick. She's sleeping right now. I can't let you see her. I see. Do you think she could come to school tomorrow? Who knows? I won't know until then, you idiot. I see. Alright. Please tell her that I came by. Thank you. She bowed, but by the time she lifted her head, Teppei was no longer there. When she returned to the school, several students emerged from the classroom. They were Kishi, Rina, Miyana, Shion. Rika was also still inside the classroom, but she wouldn't come outside. She said, how did it go? You went to Satoko's house, right? You were all waiting for me? She used to say, how is Satoko doing? Was she okay? Well, I didn't get to see her. What the hell were you doing? You're a teacher, right? You came just back because he didn't let you see her. Stop it, Shion. That's about what we expected. I'm sure Satoko has a bruise on her face by now. That's why he didn't want you to see her. You should have just been inside the house. I can't even trust you anymore. I'm sorry. Stop it, Shi-chan. She did the best she could. Now I know for sure Satoko's uncle definitely has her locked inside the house. We knew that from the start. Rikuchama's been telling you all day today. We wasted half a day just to find out if it's true. How the hell do you think you can help Satoko? Calm down. Let's make a plan. We care about her just as much as you do. We're not going to abandon her. Let's just come up with a way to save Satoko. I didn't give you my opinion, didn't I? It's the best solution we have. I can handle it all by myself. All I need is help. I only need your help to hide his body. Stop it, Shi-chan. Stop such a violent thing. Murder is a serious crime. It's the worst thing you can even think about. They can give me a different idea. My idea is wrong. They give me a different one, even if it's something a little bit better. Come on. Come on. See, you can't even say anything. I could save Satoko in 1,500 seconds. I'll just drag his body to the Onigufuji swamp and dump him in there. I don't even need your help, sis. What's wrong? Won't you come up with another idea for saving her? That's not the point. If you try to figure it out by yourself, that's all you could think of. Let me tell you something. 1,500 seconds, this is taking way too long. I would save her within 1,000 seconds. If I were you, I'd just leave her silently and do what I want to do. You know I'm not doing that. It's because someone else told me once that even if it's the only option you have, murder is still something that you should never do. It's not the right thing to do, and it's never the best thing to do either. You just have to think it's the best solution because you're not thinking properly. A long time ago, I don't even know who told me this, but someone taught it to me. If there's something that troubles you, you can't think about it all on your own. You can't think about your own solution. That's the best way to consider things or conclude things. What did that say now? Conclude, okay. We should all think about it together. If we all brainstorm, I'm sure we'll come up with a better solution. It's not about whether my idea is wrong or right. Just think about it. Every minute we waste puts Satoko in more danger. Do you hate this Hojo family that much? No one is supposed to help Satoshi-kun and Satoko no matter how much they're struggling. I'm going to help her. Get out of my way. I'm leaving right now. I'm going to step that loser and save Satoko. No, Shi-chan, you guys should curse yourselves. Curse your powerlessness. Fine, brainstorm for another idea. You'll never come up with one. Just go ahead and neglect her. You never really cared about Satoko. You only think of her as someone you can play with, but I'm different. She's more than just a friend for me. She's like my family. I care about her more than you guys do. I'm going to go kill him now. Goodbye. Wait a minute. What is it? Are you trying to stop me? Shion, you're not understanding even half of what your Raina's trying to tell you. Well, I totally understand what she's saying. We could save her right away with just a little courage and need to murder him, but she's spouting hypocritical garbage to hide the fact. Shion, do you think Satoko would appreciate it if you saved her by committing murder? I'm not trying to seek her appreciation. I don't care what happens to me. Her happiness is all that matters. That's not right if you're talking tough, but I know you're scared. In fact, you asked me to help you hide the body. In other words, you want to have a normal life after killing our uncle. You want us to all be happy just like a few days ago. You want us to be back where we were. But if you murder him, we'll never be like that again. Do you think you can really commit a perfect crime? You'll be arrested for sure. I'm prepared to face that. If I could end Satoko's suffering by doing time behind bars, I'll gladly pay that price. No, that's absolutely not true. You would curse yourself, and I bet on that. You cursed yourself and regret it and wondering how you do the short straw and became a murderer, and you finally realized what you really wanted. It wasn't killing her uncle. It was returning us all to our happy lives. Your wish will never come true if you commit murder. Satoko will also curse herself. She'll blame herself, thinking she's the reason Shion became a murderer. In fact, who's going to force Satoko to eat her squash if you get locked up? Who's going to talk about setting that mean traps with Satoko? You're supposed to do those things. Shion Sonozaki, you have to be by her side at all times. Don't kid yourself. What you're trying to do is not for Satoko. It's just a huge mistake. If that's what you're saying, do you have any idea for how to save her? You don't, do you? You're such a hypocrite. I said move, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him now. Kishi blocked her way by standing in front of the door. Shion gave him a hateful glare, but he just spit and her back to the confident smile. I can't let you go, Shion. The world we all long for doesn't exist without you. I'm not going to let you go. Is that so? That means you're siding with Teppei Hojo. You're just as guilty as he is. I'm going to bust your head open and kill you first. Hey, don't be stupid, Shion. Quit it already. Shion said, what are you going to do with that chair? Stop it. Put that chair down. He doesn't understand that I'm serious. I have to show him how determined I am. You better get the hell out of my way now. Sean, I admit that right now I have no better idea, but that's just for the moment. I'm sure that we will come up with a better idea eventually. I guarantee it. I promise you that we're going to save Satoko. So please, okay? Trust your friends. If you're afraid of committing murder for Satoko... Yeah. If you're afraid of committing murder for Satoko's sake, you're not my friend anymore. I'm not going to tell you this again. Get the hell out of my way. Calm down, think about what you're saying. We will save Satoko somehow. Just trust us. Don't try to look for a shortcut. Trust your friends. Trust me. I, Kichi Mibera, am going to save Satoko for sure. You can bet on that. Shut up. I can't trust you. Who do you think you can do for her? Shion threw that chair at Kichi. It hit him hard and the chair fell to the floor with a loud noise. But Kichi was unfazed even after being struck. He just stood in front of the exit without even covering his face. Wait, he wasn't unfazed. A chill blood was pouring from his forehead where the corner of the chair hurt him. That was nothing. You thought I would move out the way? I'm not going to move from here, even if you kill me. If you go, we might never see you again. Satoko will think about you every day, and her heart will be filled with sadness. If that happens, there won't be anything we can do to make her happy. It's going to be a very sad life for her. I don't want Satoko to live in a sad world like that. The future that we want is a wild and righteous one. And just like we had a few days ago. Of course, I won't let Satoko's uncle threaten her any longer. I haven't decided on how I'm going to do it yet, but I will know soon. I promise. So please, just trust me. Shion wasn't convinced yet, but even so, she walked to the window and took her seat. Somebody rested a hand on Kichi's shoulder. It was the principal. He had been standing there listening to him for a while. Principal. Well done, Jesus. I've heard what's going on. I'm sorry for being so powerless. I know it's only been a day, but I think this is an emergency. We should report this to the proper authorities. My search has called a child constellation center before. They're not going to help her anyway. It was just a waste of time. Shion raised her voice. The principal looked at Shion and started talking. Shion's Onozaki-kun, there's one word I really don't like. You know what that is? It's what you just said. That anyway, that came out of your mouth. That is the cruelest word, which means it means defeat before you even fight. By the time you uttered that word, you've already lost your battle. I agree with him. I think we should try various options. Calling the Child Constellation Center should be on the first list. If that doesn't work, we could try our second and third options. Don't give up before you try. That's just as bad as not helping her at all. Principal, if you're reporting this, then you'll make sure to convince them that Satoko needs saving, alright? Of course, Hojo-kun is my precious student. I'll do my best so that they will save her. They will try to take action as quickly as possible, so that if we call now, they should get to her house later tonight. I hope they will help her, but what if they put her on the case on hold? If that happens, we should come up with our next plan. As long as we don't give up, we can help her somehow. Ha ha ha, whatever you guys say, Satoko is getting hurt as we speak. Who's the one abetting her here? Shion, I just promised you. We are going to save Satoko, not by committing murder, but by saving her in a way that will make her happy. You just watch us, Aikichi Mibera, I'm promising you this. Shion stared out the window without looking at Kichi's face. I'll try and find out what the Constellation Center decides tonight. I'll call everyone when I do. I hope they'll take her into custody. We can be optimistic about this. I think there's a huge chance they'll put our case on hold. What are we going to do if that happens? If that happens, well, damn it. When Chief say, let's go to the teacher's office, we need to make this call. Yes, we need to make sure Satoko really understands. They understand. They left the classroom. Kichi, Rina, and Mia got together and discussed their options. Shion was looking down and crying. Rika was just vaguely looking at them as if staring at a boring TV drama. Nothing will change. The Child Constellation Center will put her case on hold. I've seen it so many times in previous lives. I almost had hoped that they would take her into custody just this once, but I have no more coins left to gamble on a hope like that. In the previous life, Kichi killed Satoko's uncle, but Shion was not there when that happened. When she is, I suppose she's the one who takes on that role. Their pathetic hopes will be crushed by tomorrow morning. The social worker will be at their house tonight, but Satoko will deny that she's being abused. Her uncle will assume that she's the one who called to service, and he'll abuse her even more. She will come to school tomorrow because she doesn't want the child's constellation center to be suspicious of him. We will feel more and more hopeless when we see the dead look in Satoko's eyes. I've been living for more than 100 years, but I never defeated this fate, the fate of her uncle's return. I was blessed with so much luck, and I thought I could defeat him this time, but in the end, it all came down to the same thing. It was a waste of energy to put in any effort. It was worthless, all worthless. The more I thought about this inescapable fate, the more I pitied those people for talking endlessly about how they were going to save Satoko. Woo! Okay, I think this video is just about over. I'm so out of breath. My throat's so dry, even though I've had a drink already. It's pretty hard to talk for this long, even with the breaks in between. Let's go ahead and quickly view this new tip. Wet blanket. Tip I returned to Hinamisawa just gave some trouble. He'd have to stay there for the rest of the summer, perhaps the whole year, and see what happened. For him, the house in Hinamisawa was like a rather dull hiding place. His lover, Rina, died suddenly, disappeared. Rumors told him that when she was involved with some dangerous deal, some source even told him that she had already been caught and killed. Everyone knew blah blah blah. Everyone he knew was aware that Rina was living with them. Everyone else assumed that he knew everything about what Rina did. They were convinced that he got money by tricking her into doing something, and as a result, some dangerous men came after him. That made it difficult for him to stay in Okonomiya. More than anything, it pissed him off to find out that Rina was cooking up something behind his back with some other guys. Hinamisawa was about the only place he could go. He couldn't go back to the house where he used to live with his wife, as it had been abandoned since he moved into Satoko's house. Besides, he didn't even have the key to his old place. But if he went to Satoko's house, she should still be there, and she should clean and cook for him, too. Teppei didn't know how to cook or clean, and he certainly wasn't thinking of learning. Rina had often been rebellious towards Teppei. He often said that he wanted to be with someone more loyal, like a pet, for Teppei Satoko was exactly what he wanted. As Satoko was still a little kid, she can't satisfy him sexually, but he could at least make her wash his back in the bath. Satoko's dead mother used to be a pretty woman. Satoko might be able to grow up to become a pretty lady herself in 4 or 5 years. Teppei headed back to Hinamisawa with those indecent thoughts in his head. The house was locked, so he assumed that she was at the market for grocery shopping. He found her at the store and dragged her back home. However, the house was full of dust. She had been living at her friend's house for the past year, and the house had been abandoned. Teppei exploded in anger. He told her that it was her responsibility to keep the house in order. He beat her and kicked her down to the floor. Eventually, Satoko's expression returned to what he remembered from 1982. Satoko started obeying him immediately and cleaning the house. A new place to hide with a new girl. His new life was starting out pretty good. Teppei called his buddies to show off the new beginning and ended up playing mahjong with them. He bragged about his new pet and made her serve them food and drinks. He told her to walk on all fours like a real pet. She refused, but she obeyed immediately when he tried to hit her. Everyone was laughing. They were all jealous of him. Teppei felt really good about himself. However, someone arrived to interrupt the perfect life. I'm a teacher from the Hinamisawa branch school. My name is Chi. Is Satoko Hojo-san here? He thought someone was at the door to sell insurance or something, but it was a school teacher, huh? What the hell? What do you want with Satoko? I came here because she didn't come to school today. I wasn't able to get a hold of her, so I'm wondering what happened. Huh? School? Yes. Is she home? I need to talk with her. She's sick. That's right. She has a cold. Satoko is visiting because she has a fever. I need to give her some handouts. May I please see her? You idiot. Weren't you listening to what I just said? Satoko is sick. She's sleeping right now. I can't let you see her. This was going to cause him problems, Teppei realized. Satoko was just a pet for him, and he had no intention of sending her to school. But her teacher had shown up at his house just because she missed one day. This wasn't good. Teppei hates schools and really hates teachers. I see. Do you think she goes to school tomorrow? Who knows? I won't know until tomorrow, you idiot. I see. Alright, please tell her that I came by. Thank you. He was able to get rid of the teacher, but it would create more problems if he didn't send Satoko to school tomorrow. Teppei didn't even need more trouble in this place. That meant he couldn't beat up Satoko like he wanted to. Violence was the only way he knew how to communicate. With that out of the picture, it was very difficult for him. He wanted to beat up Satoko, but that would leave evidence on her body. If that happened, he wouldn't be able to send her to school. And if she didn't go to school, that teacher would show up at his doorstep again. Shit. On top of all that, the Child Consolation Center paid a visit to his house that night. The teacher must have followed a report. That bitch Tepe thought. Next time I'll beat her in the face so hard she'll need plastic surgery. Since Satoko was afraid of him, she pretended she was really sick when the social worker visited. It was so easy for Tepe to control her. He considered Satoko to be a convenient pet, but at the same time, he needed to be careful of the Consolation Center. Fucking hell, this ain't gonna work at all. Okay, my throat is even more dry and scratchy after reading that. That was a pretty decently long tip. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I know this is an hour long. I'll see you guys next time.